Discourse. Gosh, we learned that last year and I actually don't know it anymore.
I think, I don't know. Hey. It's got something to do with your subject.
Zayn taught me about discourse from critical studies, but I happened not to be paying attention. And then I studied it for a specific test, and then I forgot it after the test.
Oh my goodness. Okay, wait.
Discourse would be...
A discourse is a set of ideas, well, anything that's been said about anything over a period of time, whether it was recorded, written, like on anything, on any topic.
It's the way people view the world because of what they've been taught in life.
I'd have to assume that it was an amalgamation between discharge and intercourse.
So when a subject or idea has been spoken about in society and it kind of connotates to the general idea comes from how it's spoken about and you know, it brings in stereotypes and the way things have been stereotyped in society.
I think it's an argument
that is used to spark a conversation about a certain theory or concept.
You couldn't really have a discourse about my hair, but you could create a discourse around why a lot of people have similar hair to me.
It's like arguments through the ages, arguments and opinions through the ages, or like the opinions that sprout from the arguments.
When you go off course with something, and that's discourse. When you go out of course, instead of going on course, you go discourse.
A discourse is a set of ideas that has been built up over time. It usually fits to a set of people or a certain time period.
For instance, they can be created through meanings and power. Like if a few people agree that something is a tree, and to be called a tree as such is a discourse.
It's part of semiotics, and it links to the study of science, which is semiotics. And with discourse, it's more on the object.
Like before people start talking about it, no one actually notices or realizes it. Like kind of like AIDS. Before the epidemic of AIDS, no one really discussed it.
How our gender is being, defined, like the usual way that a woman is sort of described and stuff. We're very feminine, we're dependent and all that stuff. So
in music videos, that all women are perceived to be like sluts or like objects. And then it's the discourse that forms within people, and then everybody sees them as sluts and objects.
Foucault has this whole thing about like the inscription of, your body's inscription of stages or something like that. So like your discourse would lie somewhere in there, whether the body is natural before or after inscription.
If I was to talk about myself falling under a certain discourse, I'm part of the post-apartheid generation, I guess. So I've been educated in private schools and I behave a certain way because I'm part of that discourse.
I like my African heritage. I like the fact that I can be loud or whatever, and I can be voluptuous and still beautiful.
Fine, we can see that he is a he, she is a she. She does not have anything dangling, fine. But then it goes into that whole masculinity and femininity thing, and I don't like that bullshit.
For example, homosexuality wasn't that until the church said that two men kind of can't be together, and then the whole gayness came out, well, in that department.
Unlike back in the days when you had like proper Roman baths and men could fuck each other, go back home to their wives and stuff like that.
Discourse is an everyday thing, so it is important, although I don't think many people are familiar with the term. People who are outside of the academic field and stuff. It's only for people within that sphere.
It shows you how the world that you live in isn't that real.
You see, I have a debate in my head whether ignorance is bliss or whether like knowledge is actually power. Like, because sometimes being ignorant, like you feel like being ignorant was far better than knowing, because knowing means you have a duty to like do something about it.
Examine every little aspect of your world, which like for some people, discourse doesn't even exist in their world. And for people that actually know what discourse means, those people that don't could be seen as ignorant.
To be honest with you, I think that, you know, like all these big names like discourse and whatnot actually meant to make some other people feel quite a bit stupid.
Discourse can put a person in a state of power if he possibly knows more about something than that discourse than someone else.
These aren't your theories, but whoever it was that came up with these things, I think personally, they were actually trying to make themselves be smarter than, you know, everybody else. You know, I mean, I don't find any need for us to have all these complicated words to mean something and for those words to mean something else and all that, you know what I mean?
Discourse fucked up a lot of things. Discourse is a mess. That is what discourse is. It is what we have been trying to learn all this year, and I don't think any one of us has quite got it down yet.
And that's discourse, y'all. Discourse. Right there. Discourse. Nice jeans. Discourse. Yeah.